These are 7 new areas of AI that I'm quite sure you haven't heard about yet. So let's start with the first one. Let me speak about psychology. Let me speak about behavioral science, right? So we need to ensure that every customer interaction with the firm is guided, right? So whether you are trying to encourage adoption or whether you are guiding users through a complex task, so let's say a complex KYC routine, we are now using behavioral nudges to drive the outcome. This is really important, especially in vulnerable groups of players. So let's say those who are anxious about fraud, or maybe they're hesitant with technology. Whenever trust and clarity are essential, you need to move away from automation into psychology. And we're working with some of the best people in the world at the cutting edge of psychology science. So a company called Influence at Work, run by the very famous professor Robert Cialdini, who is author of this book you see on screen called Influence. By the way, for those of you interested in psychology, this is the best text about influencing others, and it's an important book on psychology on this subject. And so this it allows EBO to move from pure AI, where you have the whole domains of, large language models, into the domain of psychology, into the domain of influencing others towards a particular outcome. Here's the second thing that we're really excited about. So in iGaming, clarity isn't optional, right? Let me say it again. Clarity of the messaging of your agents isn't optional. So we have introduced for the first time dynamic literacy assessment. So when your customer is conversing with the AI tool, we are constantly analyzing signals. What's their vocabulary? How rich is it? What's their response time? How complex are the subjects they are dealing with? And then we guess their literacy, we guess their maturity. And in real time, the AI can customize the tone, the format, the language of each response. So if your end user needs simplified vocabulary, then that's how the answer is given. Or the other way around, if you need maybe clarification of terms around compliance or certain consumer protection obligations, that ensures that the AI we provide isn't just inclusive AI, but it reduces churn, right? And it's going to boost adoption because vulnerable players need clarity. Well, maybe I should say all end users want clarity. And that's exactly why our solution around dynamic literacy assessment allows you to personalize the correspondence, the exchange, the discussion, the conversation based on those very important signals which are often ignored. Thirdly, we are extremely proud of the work we've done in AI because we have built our conversational AI solution on our own proprietary retraining pipeline. So for those of you who are up to date in the latest technology trends, you've all heard about LLMs, about large language models. But what we have done is that on top of the largest LLM in town, which is that by Microsoft, shared also by OpenAI, we have built a retraining pipeline. So a hybrid architecture, which allows us to fuse all our industry experience in iGaming, all our industry-derived data harvested over millions of curated and permissioned interactions in this industry, right? And this is a key differentiator from off-the-shelf AI solutions, right? Because that means that our large language model is fusing the best of two worlds, the structure and capability of the largest LLM globally by Microsoft, shared by OpenAI, and our own layer on top of that, which is all about the iGaming industry. That gets your project operational in less time with a higher degree of accuracy. The fourth thing, which we are extremely excited about, is something you certainly didn't expect me to say, but I say it. It's speech, right? So voice AI brings the automation of customer service in a way that is so natural, so inclusive, and so immediate. Yes, we have customers who are telling us we still want end users to call. So we have built a voice agent that understands intent, understands emotion, understands nuance, can handle inbound calls. Yes, not through an app, but through a free phone number. It's the same AI model we're using for our text-based interactions, but it can do it in any language and through voice. And we've seen this now reducing the operational costs well up to 60%, right? And this can really reduce the digital divide for those more mature customers of yours, perhaps aged 65 and above, who will not use a digital or text-based interface by default and want a voice interaction. This can truly be transformative. And now, let's talk about the fifth thing which excites us, agentic AI. You've all heard this new concept, right? Agentic artificial intelligence. That means that EBO is going beyond passive conversations with your end users. What we're doing is building AI that can act and not just chat, right? So agentic AI means our platform is capable of taking safe actions on behalf of the customer or on behalf of the operator. So based on a conversation, we can update records in your CRM. We can trigger alerts, for example, about vulnerable end users, or we could move to particular offers or particular payment processes which are necessary. So whether we are connecting to a CRM, whether we are connecting to Mindway, whom you'll hear from in just a minute, whether we are connecting to a KYC process, our agentic AI can not only read data from your back office world, but it can take decisions and write back into these systems. So you really can have an end-to-end orchestration of the workflows and pathways that the end users need to go through. This is really bridging the gap between dialogue and action. And it does that without compromising trust or compliance. The sixth thing that I hope you would expect me to talk about is data science, right? Is measurability. From day one, our solution is going to be fully measurable. So we have an in-house data science team, and we have engineered a platform to natively track all the end users' goals, fulfillment requirements, sentiment analysis, emotion analysis, and this works with our bolt-on analytics. Yes, we're using Microsoft's Power BI to show you all of this in a dashboard, but what it really means is that our data science team is going to help your platform evolve. And this is the difference between an off-the-shelf solution and what you need today. You need software that evolves, refining workflows based on the information it receives, refining safety and compliance rules, and ensuring that the system is performing at scale, right? This is how, through data science, we turn insights from the conversations into predictions. And that is maybe one of the most important functions of AI today, the ability to look at patterns in data and create predictions which you could trust and which you could prove. And I'll say one last thing about our approach. In iGaming, what we've learned is that trust is non-negotiable. So unlike your typical large language models that are generating responses probabilistically, the conversations in a licensed iGaming environment are built by our domain experts who understand the regulatory environment, who understand your back office tokens and systems, and can build structured, goal driven flows. Truth is, most iGaming businesses today do not have conversation design specialists that sit partly in operations and partly in AI. And because we've taken this approach, we are drastically reducing the risk of hallucinations, which are common with AI, or ambiguous replies that help no one. And this is key in a regulated environment, right? Because getting it wrong could be a huge harm to the business. So each dialogue that we develop, each workflow that we complete is fully tested, fully auditable, and fully aligned to compliance standards. So what you get isn't just automation, it's predictability, right? It's safety, it's accountability, which is built into the conversation itself.